a couple of health and fitness tips for you today, especially for you women over 35 years of age. Here's the thing that you need to know. First and foremost, that needs to stand out to you, that you need to get ingrained in your brain. Muscle burns fat. Muscle burns fat. In these amazing bodies that we have, that God created to work optimally in this crazy world that we live in, the fat burning machine of your body is your muscle. And here's what happens. Over 35, our body begins to decrease in muscle mass. Seriously, ladies, can we catch a break, right? We're finally at an age in our 30s where we've grown up just a little bit, kind of getting things together, came out of our crazy teens and our unbelievable 20s, and now we're in our 30s, and our body wants to turn around and jack us up and say, you know what, I'm going to start taking some of that muscle mass away from you. And at a rate of about 0.5 to 1% a year, over 35, your muscle mass begins to decrease. Guess what that means? If you weigh a certain weight at age 35 and you don't change your diet and you don't change your exercise, you're going to gain weight because your body begins to decrease in muscle mass, which is what burns fat, and you're going to begin to hold on to more fat. So you have to change things up. You have to. If you are over 35 and all of a sudden you're like, man, I've been eating the same way, I've been working out the same way, something is off because I'm gaining weight. My pants aren't fitting anymore. All of a sudden, things are tighter in the middle and things are changing. There's a reason. Because while you were sleeping, when you didn't even know it, your body begins to get rid of muscle. It just happens. It's just an unfortunate event of aging, right? So how do you change that? The only way you can change that is not to take fat burners. It's not to decrease your food intake, which, by the way, you would have to do about 150 to 450 calories less a day to just maintain the same weight. So what do you have to do? You have to lift weights. You have to do that. You have to do resistance training. It doesn't even necessarily have to entail lifting heavy weights, although I'll talk about that in a minute. But you have to be doing some resistance training. Listen, take my word from me. Just listen to this for just a second. I worked in the health and fitness industry for 15 years now, taught fitness classes, and I would see the same women over and over and over killing themselves for an hour, 2 hours on the treadmill or on some piece of cardio equipment, and their bodies never changed. If anything, it got bigger or heavier, and there's a reason, because their muscle mass was decreasing. But in our brains, somewhere along the way in this health and fitness journey, women have thought, I have to do more cardio and I have to eat less. Do more cardio and eat less, and it's a backwards way of thinking. I know it's hard, and it's hard to get that up in our heads to think, I need to eat more and I need to lift heavy. But if you want to change the body composition, if you want to see changes in your physical appearance, yes, you need cardio. You need that for heart health, but that's not all you need to do. About 3 times a week, you need to be picking up some heavy weights. You know, you don't want to be fat, skinny, because I see skinny girls all the time, but they're fat, they're unhealthy. Their metabolism is dead, and they have no energy. And as they get older, that's going to catch up with them. So trust me on this, if you are over 35 years of age, or you're creeping up on it, or you're a 25-year-old, but you're smart enough to be thinking ahead, you need to go ahead and be looking at what you're doing physically in your workouts and begin to incorporate a weight training program. That can be your body weight, that can be with resistance bands, that can be with weights, free weights, or machines. Whatever you have, there's so many options for you to do that, and you need to be doing that about 3 times a week, doing some resistance training that can change your body composition. Because ladies, it's so important for our general health and for our body composition to keep that muscle mass from going away. Trust me, I'm 48 years old, and I saw a change at about 33. I remember thinking, golly, I'm eating the same way. I've been in health and fitness. I've been taking care of myself, and things are changing. And it's, what the heck is going on here? And it doesn't seem quite fair, but the good news is we have control of it, and we can do something about it. So pick up those heavy weights. If you have been, ladies, if you're at the gym or at your home and you've been lifting 3 and 5 pound weights for 2 years, and you're able to finish a set of 12 reps, talking to your neighbor, going over your grocery list, you're not lifting heavy enough. You need to put those light weights down and pick up some heavier weights. You need to be finishing a set of about 10 to 12 like you couldn't even finish one more. That's how heavy you need to be going. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips because I hear this a lot of time from my clients and from people that I've worked with. Women, typically, we are much stronger in our lower bodies. Our lower bodies are big muscle groups. We can lift heavy. Our legs, my booty, it can lift some weights. If you put me on a machine at the gym, a squat press machine, I can squat some heavy weight. But if I have to hold that same weight in my hands or on my shoulders, there's no way I can squat that same amount of weight. So there's a couple of tips that I'm going to give you for lifting heavy. Some cheap pieces of equipment that you can get that can keep you safe and that can allow you to lift heavier weights, to start to see your increase in weights as you can lift heavier, because especially in our lower body weights, in squats and lunges and things like that, you can go heavy. I promise your legs can lift heavier than your arms. But here's a couple of tips. The first thing that I use anytime I'm doing lower body work, because I lift heavy, I have a belt. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to step back here. You can get this belt. It's just a weightlifting belt. This is not a very expensive one. I think I got it at Academy for 10 bucks. And you want it to fit tight around your waist and support your lower back. Number one, when you're squatting, you need to engage your abs and you really want to keep your abs pulled in nice and tight. But sometimes when we're lifting heavy and focusing, we might have our abs in tight, but we stand the risk of compromising our lower back. So get you a nice fitting belt that you can adjust pretty snug around your lower back. That's going to help you. And then here's one of my very favorite pieces of equipment that allows me to lift heavier in my lower body. Especially as my arms get really tired if I'm doing upper and lower at the same time. So it's just this little wrist, it's a little Velcro piece, it wraps around and it has this little metal hook. And it allows me to hold a very heavy weight in my hand without tiring out my forearm and my grip. Because my grip strength is not very good. I hurt my thumb and had to have surgery on it, so I don't have very good grip strength. And my forearms aren't near as strong as my legs are. These, I think I got these at Academy too. Very cheap little piece of equipment that allows you to lift heavier weights and supports the weight in your hand so that your lower body you can optimize the strength that's in your lower body to lift a much heavier weight. Those two pieces of equipment are awesome. Whether you work out at the gym or you work out at home, those two pieces of equipment are going to help you so much. And it doesn't matter if you work out at home. There are lots of workouts that you can do. If you're like, well, I don't have a gym. I mean, obviously I have a gym at home. You don't have to have a gym at home. You don't have to have a whole set of weights and a rack machine and anything like that. There are a lot of workouts that you can do that incorporate just your body weight that will help you increase that muscle mass, because it's no fun over 35 when your metabolism slows and you have no idea why and you don't know what's going on and things are changing and you're like, this is just not right. Well, let me tell you, it's because your muscle has gone away. 0.5 to 1% a year. Every 10 years over 35, you lose about 5% of your muscle mass. What? That's crazy. And that means that you either have to eat a whole lot less or do a whole lot more cardio than if you just picked up some heavy weights and began to do a weight training program. Muscle burns fat. Bottom line. Build more muscle, burn more fat. And I don't think there's one woman out there that says, you know, I'd rather just hang on to this fat over 35. Hello, not me. And the way to combat that is to pick up some weights and get lifting and lift heavy. Do it the right way, do it the safe way. If you need help, let me know. Get a trainer, follow a program. Follow a program that sets out every day what you should do. Whether you work out at home or at the gym, you need to have a program of what to do every day. Lift heavy, lift weights, surprise yourself. I think you'll be surprised, women, how heavy you can go. I'm telling you, after years and years in the fitness industry, I see women that I know they're not lifting at their potential, and they're the same women that are doing the same workouts over and over and wondering why their body isn't changing and why they're still struggling with getting the weight off. Number one tip, lift weight. Number two, lift heavy. Number 3, be consistent and get on a plan and a program. I'm doing a program right now called Chalene Extreme, and it's just a slow, heavy program. 6 days a week. It's amazing. So if you need help with that, if you're curious about what kind of weights you should be lifting or what kind of programs you should be on, I'd love to answer those questions for you, but there are lots of trainers out there. There are a lot of people that can answer those questions for you. Google is amazing. And get those 2 pieces of equipment that are going to help you, the little hook and the belt. That you'll be surprised how much that helps you to be able to lift heavier weights than you even think that you can. Because our upper body is going to give out and fatigue a lot faster than our lower body would, and you need just a little assistance sometimes. So remember that. Muscle burns fat. Get that in your head. Don't be afraid to lift heavy weights. Ladies, you are not going to bulk up like a man, I promise you. Those women that you see that look like men, that are on stage and competing, that's not natural. They have supplements. They're doing something to enhance that. The natural testosterone that a woman has in her body, I think there's like 1 to 2% of the women in the world have enough testosterone to even begin to look like a man. So don't be afraid to lift weights. You're not going to bulk like a man. You're actually going to see your body begin to streamline and get a better composition to it than you could have ever imagined if you will just start lifting weights and start lifting heavy 3 to 4 times a week. Substitute that in with your cardio. You need cardio. You just don't need cardio 6 days a week. You don't need to do that much. You need to have cardio, but you also need to pick up those weights, lift heavy weights, and watch your body begin to change. Let me know. Try it. Just give it a try. Oh, and if you've never done that before, if you've not picked up weights, be prepared to be sore. You're going to be sore. Sore doesn't mean dead, right? Sore doesn't mean that, oh my God, something's wrong. That's not what sore means. You do it the right way, you'll have great results. You'll start to build muscle, which will reduce fat. And that's 2 thumbs up for me, right? Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good day.